Throughout history, myths have warned us of creatures too terrifying to be real. Or so we thought. From the fire-breathing dragons of ancient scrolls to the shadowy beasts whispered about by sailors and tribes. These stories may hold more truth than legend. What if the monsters our ancestors feared weren't just imagination, but memories of real encounters long forgotten? Join us as we dive deep into ancient texts, archaeological mysteries, and chilling evidence, suggesting that myth may not be myth at all. This is Myth Becomes Reality. Monsters history warned us about. Prepare to question everything you thought was folklore. Myth becomes reality. Monsters history warned us about. When legends step into the light. For centuries, humanity has told stories of monsters, terrifying beings that stalked the night, haunted the seas, or lived deep within the earth. These tales, often dismissed as superstition, were believed to be products of imagination, warnings to keep children safe, or explanations for the unexplainable. Yet, as science and exploration advance, the line between myth and reality continues to blur. Many creatures once thought to exist only in folklore now reveal startling truths, not as fantasy, but as echoes of ancient encounters with real, living beasts. This is the story of when myth becomes reality, when the monsters our ancestors warned us about are found, not in nightmares, but in the pages of history and the depths of our world. Part 1. From Legend to Discovery. The hidden truth behind ancient myths. Long before scientific classification or exploration, ancient cultures tried to make sense of their mysterious world. When sailors saw colossal shadows under their ships or heard roars in the night, they turned those moments into myths. These myths were more than stories. They were humanity's first attempts to understand nature's mysteries. Take, for instance, the Kraken, a monstrous sea creature said to rise from the ocean depths, wrapping its massive tentacles around ships and dragging them into the abyss. For centuries, it was believed to be nothing more than sailors' lore, a tale of terror spun by drunken men on long voyages. Yet in the 19th century, the giant squid Architeuthis dux was discovered, proving that enormous tentacled creatures did indeed exist in the world's dark oceans. Measuring up to 43 feet long, this real-life monster inspired many of the ancient sea serpent myths that terrified early mariners. Similarly, stories of dragons can be found in nearly every culture, from China's benevolent sky serpents to Europe's fire-breathing beasts of destruction. The consistency of these myths across continents has long puzzled historians. But when paleontologists began unearthing massive fossilized bones of dinosaurs and ancient reptiles, the mystery began to make sense. To an untrained ancient eye, a massive femur or skull would undoubtedly resemble the remains of a dragon. In that sense, dragons were humanity's first interpretation of prehistoric life, monsters born from the bones of giants. Part 2. The monsters of the deep, myths that still haunt our oceans. Even today, the ocean remains largely unexplored. Scientists estimate that over 80% of it is still unmapped, unobserved, and unexplored, making it a perfect breeding ground for modern myths. Ancient sailors filled the gaps of their knowledge with terrifying stories, and some of those creatures are now proving to be disturbingly close to reality. The ancient Greeks told of Scylla and Charybdis, two monstrous beings that guarded a narrow sea passage. Scylla, with her snapping heads, and Charybdis, a whirlpool that swallowed ships whole, may have been exaggerated versions of real maritime dangers. Volcanic vents, violent whirlpools, or large marine predators, such as whales or sharks. Likewise, sightings of colossal shadows beneath the surface, once attributed to sea dragons, could easily have been giant squid or even undiscovered deep-sea creatures. In the 1970s, scientists discovered the colossal squid, Mesonicoteuthis hamiltoni, even larger and more fearsome than the giant squid. With hooks on its tentacles and eyes the size of dinner plates, this monster could easily have inspired generations of seafaring horror. It was living proof that sometimes the old stories held fragments of truth. Part 3. Land of the Giants. When Earth itself gave birth to beasts. The myths of giant beings, towering humanoids, or beasts of impossible size, are among humanity's oldest. From the Nephilim of the Bible to the frost giants of Norse mythology, these creatures were believed to have walked the earth long before humankind rose to dominance. Archaeological evidence and paleontological findings have shown that enormous creatures indeed roamed the ancient world. The Gigantopithecus, a colossal ape standing nearly 10 feet tall, lived in Asia thousands of years ago and may have inspired tales of the Yeti or Bigfoot. Early humans who stumbled upon their bones could have easily imagined giants living among them. Similarly, mammoths and mastodons, when discovered frozen or fossilized, likely birthed stories of giant beasts slain by gods or heroes. Ancient Greeks, when discovering the skulls of dwarf elephants with a large central nasal cavity, interpreted them as the remains of cyclopes, one-eyed giants from myth. The truth was less magical, but equally awe-inspiring. Evolution had produced creatures so large and powerful that their fossils inspired entire mythologies. Part 4. The Hybrid Horrors, Myths of Creation and Science. Not all monsters were born from natural origins. Some, according to legend, were creations, twisted hybrids of humans and beasts, made through magic or divine punishment. The Minotaur of Crete, for instance, was said to be half man, half bull, living in a labyrinth built to contain his rage. Centaurs, sirens, and sphinxes also blurred the lines between humanity and animal instinct. For centuries, these beings were dismissed as symbolic, metaphors for human nature or moral lessons. Yet, modern science has begun to challenge those distinctions. Through genetic engineering, cloning, and bioexperimentation, humanity now possesses the power to merge DNA across species boundaries, creating real-life hybrid horrors. While we have not yet produced monsters of mythic proportion, the possibility of manipulating life forms has reopened ancient ethical questions. Were the myths of hybrid monsters not mere fantasy, but premonitions of what happens when humans play God? Ancient legends often framed such creatures as punishments for hubris, perhaps an early warning of what happens when knowledge exceeds wisdom. Part 5. The Cursed and the Damned, Monsters Born of Human Fear. Some monsters weren't physical creatures at all, but reflections of our deepest fears, born not from nature, but from the human mind. The werewolf, the vampire, and the ghoul all represent transformations that occur when morality and humanity are stripped away. The myth of the werewolf, for example, dates back to ancient Greece, where the legend of King Lycaon told of a man cursed by Zeus to become a wolf after resorting to cannibalism. For centuries, the werewolf was seen as the embodiment of savagery and sin. Yet some historians now believe these myths may have roots in real medical conditions. Rabies, porphyria, and hypertrichosis, diseases that cause madness, light sensitivity, and excessive hair growth, might have inspired. Vampire legends, too, may stem from misinterpretations of disease. Tuberculosis, which caused pale skin and blood-tinged coughing, often led villagers to believe the dead were rising to drain the living. In pre-scientific societies, when entire families fell ill, it was common to dig up corpses and stake them through the heart, believing the monster within would finally die. These myths, while horrifying, reveal more about human psychology than actual monsters. They show our fear of contagion, death, and the corruption of the soul, a reflection of how easily fear becomes myth, and myth becomes ritual. Part 6. The Forest Whisper, Nature's Hidden Predators. Deep forests have always been home to the unknown. Before maps and satellites, humanity viewed the wilderness as a place of danger and mystery. From Europe's werewolves to Africa's shape-shifting beasts, the forest was believed to shelter creatures beyond imagination. The Native American Wendigo, for example, was said to be a spirit of greed and cannibalism that possessed humans, transforming them into monstrous beings. While many interpret the Wendigo as a metaphor for moral corruption, its legend may have been inspired by actual survival stories. Those forced into cannibalism during harsh winters, losing their sanity in the process. It's a haunting reminder that sometimes monsters are born not from the supernatural, but from desperation. Similarly, tales of large, unknown predators, such as the African Nandi bear or the Asian jungle rakshasas, could stem from encounters with extinct or undiscovered species. Cryptozoologists continue to study these stories, suggesting that some may be rooted in real evolutionary remnants, creatures that defied extinction long enough to leave their mark on human fear. Part 7. The Return of the Forgotten: Modern Sightings and Ancient Echoes. Despite centuries of progress, myths persist, and in some cases, re-emerge with startling evidence. Reports of creatures like the Loch Ness Monster, the Yeti, or the Chupacabra continue to capture global imagination. While most can be explained through misidentifications or hoaxes, a few remain stubbornly unexplained. The coelacanth, for instance, was thought to have gone extinct 65 million years ago, until a living specimen was caught off the coast of South Africa in 1938. This prehistoric fish, once believed to be long vanished, became living proof that not all legends are wrong. Some just wait to be rediscovered. Could the same be true for other mythic beasts? The discovery of giant squids, megamouth sharks, and deep-sea ghost creatures in the last century suggests that humanity has only scratched the surface of what hides in nature's shadows. Perhaps the monsters our ancestors feared weren't pure invention. They were encounters with the unknown that we are only now beginning to understand. Part 8. The Psychological Monsters: When Belief Gives Birth to Reality. One of the most fascinating aspects of myth is its ability to manifest physically through belief. In psychology, this is known as the tulpa effect, the idea that intense belief or fear can give rise to a perceived entity. When entire cultures share that belief, the monster becomes part of collective consciousness, shaping behavior, religion, and even reality itself. The Slavic Baba Yaga, the Japanese Oni, and the European demon, though culturally distinct, all share traits of fear, moral consequence, and unseen punishment. These stories shaped societies, influencing laws, traditions, and taboos. In a sense, the monsters were real, not as flesh and bone, but as psychological forces powerful enough to control civilizations. Even today, mass hysteria can give rise to modern monsters. From UFO abductions to urban legends like the Mothman, belief continues to generate real-world reactions, panic sightings, and even tragic outcomes. Myths, it seems, never truly die. They evolve with us, adapting to our fears and technologies. Part 9. Science Meets Myth: Rediscovering the Unknown. In the modern era, the boundaries between myth and science are closer than ever. Each new discovery, from deep-sea trenches to ancient DNA, peels back layers of mystery that once belonged to folklore. Yet, ironically, these discoveries often reaffirm how little we truly know. The Amazon rainforest still hides thousands of undiscovered species. The ocean floor teems with life forms never before seen. Microbes and viruses emerge from melting glaciers, remnants of eras predating humanity. In many ways, science has simply replaced the campfire myth with the microscope. The unknown remains, only changed in form. Even artificial intelligence, genetic manipulation, and virtual realities are giving birth to new monsters, digital or biological entities that challenge our definitions of life and fear. The age of myth has not ended. It has merely evolved into a new medium: the timeless truth of monsters. Throughout human history, monsters have been more than mere stories. They are reflections of our fears, our curiosity, and our struggle to understand the unknown. Each myth, from the Kraken to the dragon, from the vampire to the Wendigo, carries within it a piece of truth, scientific, psychological, or moral. As we continue to explore the world and ourselves, we find that many of these monsters were not warnings about the supernatural, but about humanity's place in nature and the dangers of ignorance. The ancients may not have known the science, but they understood the message, that the world is vast, mysterious, and often dangerous, and that those who forget the lessons of myth may face them anew. So when myth becomes reality, it is not just a story confirmed. It is a reminder that even in an age of light, shadows still move. And sometimes, history's monsters don't vanish. They simply wait to be rediscovered. If history's monsters were more than myths, what else have we dismissed as legend? From ancient warnings to modern discoveries, the line between reality and folklore grows thinner with every revelation. Perhaps the tales passed down through generations were not fiction, but forewarnings of creatures that once walked, and may still walk, among us. Thank you for joining us on this chilling journey through forgotten truths. If you enjoyed uncovering the dark mysteries of the past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, remember, some myths don't die, they just wait to be rediscovered.